All praises to the Most High. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Greetings, family. Y'all royals, I pray all is well with each one of you. I have done this many times. I haven't done it in a while in reference to just giving some updates to the birth rate compared to the United States to Africa countries and so forth throughout Europe. What has been, shown to me in so many ways is that all fingers point to the continent of Africa in regards of the fertility rate. You will see that the African countries are at the forefront. They have the youngest population on the earth that are under 18 years old. That speaks volume. So this is actually a video that I'm going to share coming from Lisa Cabrera. So shout out to her, and if you're not following her, supporting her, she's one that bring forth a lot of insights through the news to share different things that are going on. And so definitely, we all, in one way or another, have a place where we are bringing forth updates, and whether it concerns or whether it is actually of the essence what we need to do to move forward, which is, of course, in so many ways, encouragement to see the hands of the Most High is moving. Hallelujah. So let's check this out.
Full year of COVID restrictions, there's new data confirming that a baby boom that some doctors and, for that matter, comedians expected is actually turning out to be a major baby bust. Health departments in 27 states provided records to CBSNews.com, and they show a 7% drop in births in December. That would be 9 months after the first lockdowns began, and it could be just the beginning. Researchers say it matches a much bigger plunge in fertility that is decades in the making. The number of babies the average woman is expected to deliver in her lifetime has dropped from nearly 4 in the 1950s to less than 2 today. And that could present an entirely different threat to society as we know it than we were first warned about decades ago.
The stakes in this battle are far greater than any other we have ever fought.
In the 1960s and 70s, an apocalyptic fear gripped America.
The experts we interviewed told us population was the fundamental crisis.
As the world stampeded toward 10 billion people, many researchers predicted that overpopulation would ruin us.
Sometime in the next 15 years, the end will come. And by the end, I mean an utter breakdown of the capacity of the planet to support humanity.
But these days, a very different note from researchers like USC professor Dal Myers, who studies demographic trends.
The trouble is that we overshot. We dropped it down too much now.
While the global population is still growing, a major study last summer predicted it'll actually peak in 2064 and then fall by nearly 1 billion people by the end of the century. The reason?
The Nagasaki family are famous healers in Japan for more than 300 years. Their ancestors.
Fewer babies. Here in the U.S., in fact, we're already below the so-called replacement level by some measures, and that means fewer young people to support our otherwise aging population.
That's a crisis. We need to have enough working-age people to carry the load of these seniors who deserve their retirement. They deserve all their entitlements, and they're going to live out another 30 years. Nobody in the history of the globe has had so many older people to deal with.
And the pandemic is only making this problem worse, despite some early jokes that more families staying home together might mean more babies.
When we thought, we would see a baby boom, but we just haven't seen it.
Dr. David Jaspin is chair of the Department of Gynecology and Obstetrics at Einstein Medical Center in Philadelphia. He says patients are worried about not only their health, but their finances.
So you're hearing more people ask you about contraception and fewer people say, we're thinking about trying.
That's absolutely true. I get a report every morning at 5:15 about what has happened in the last 24 hours.
So in so many ways, and what they're saying is that this is now an added reason why they have not been hitting the mark as far as why America and so many other the European countries are falling below the 2.1%. America is around 1.7 last year, for a couple of years around 1.8. When you actually, to get to that number, you have the blacks, the Hispanics, and the whites included. And the blacks and the Hispanics have always been over 2.1. So if we both, the Hispanics and the blacks, are over 2.1, where that put the other races at? Where are they at? Very, very low, family. This is another point of matter, that how things are moving, how things are being done when it comes to this end of the age, this end of the era, you see. Now, also, I want to share with you all just actual, you can pretty much get it when you look for fertility rates compared to from one country to the next. Let me get that for you all. Okay, so you can pretty much get it from any, a lot of different places, but this is something I normally pull it from my laptop area, but you can literally see, according to, this is actually showing here 2021, and you can, begin to see how the different African countries are at the forefront. Niger, 6.6. Uganda, 6.2. Now remember, what would make it to where as you would meet the goal, or the percentage, you would need to be at 2.1. Any country that is under 2.1, they're not meeting the standards, and they're falling below of the population. And a better way to understand that is that if 5 women have kids in different, ones are in just say Africa, one is in different other places in Europe, and of course in America, their kids were born on the same date. Well, in that same date, when the kids turn of the age to go to school, they all will go to school in that same year. You understand? Because they have met the requirements of going to school in that timeline. But just when you look at it from the aspect of that, just say that ones who, having kids, well, the next year they have kids. Only 3 of the women out of those 5 have kids and 2 don't. Well, that when that falls for those kids to go to school, that meaning that 3, will be in school and 2 of those 2 women will not. So that just cutting down on the amount of people, actually living in the world at the same time, the same age, and, attending school. Even if you put it in one location, and, there are ones that have went to the kindergartens or first grade, and they're like, well, where are the kids? Well, in that time when those parents had kids, well, others didn't. And that made the number, of course, why the classes weren't full of students. So it's already shown that in America, that when it comes down to the population, they said, well, perhaps in 2044 or 2060, that's when you'll see that this world will change in America, where the whites will be the minority. Family, already in schools, the whites are already the minority. Already. So what they're really saying is that, as I say, if you go outside, drive in your city, in your malls, in your different, wherever you at, what they're saying, you can look at the map and see where our people really not at, like say South Dakota, say Nevada, well, Nebraska, places like really far, Montana, North Dakota. You don't see our people really, really there. But see where our people are, where it's showing our people at. We should not be able to, for us to still be at 13%, almost what, 400 years later, 13%. Where we are located at, family, we should not even be able to see nobody look like us for miles and miles and miles when we go outside our house. When we get in the car, we should not see nothing but white folks. We go in the grocery store, we should not see nothing but white folks. So that should tell you right there, that's a lie. We have I truly believe we have always been greater than they, in the sense of, because there were more slaves than people that were ruling over them. They had rulers, but it was more slaves. And the slaves were, of course, put in different part of the country. So, one will not know in the way how things used to, as far as operating and giving us the understanding that, oh no, it's very few of you, not that many. Well, family, like I say, go out and about. Just look around. You should not be able to see no one look like you with only 13% in this country. But what they'll try to tell you, oh no, you are all in one little area. And you just seen the many people, you're 13% in this one little area. Nah. No, family. Nah. No. They might try to get that, in Montana, South Dakota, North Dakota. But in the East, or in California, or in the, at the end of the day, family, these people have just been pulling our legs. Let's see. Now, I know the Bible said that Father would scatter us. We'll be the few in the midst of. But I truly believe that we have been having babies because we never fell under the 2.1. Okay. So just check this out. So for let's say, a woman in Niger will have, say 6, be accounted for 6 children compared to ones in America for 1.7. Okay. So let's continue. So Afghanistan is in the midst of this. I think they used to be higher. So they have 4.72. But as you continue to go down, you see nothing but African countries all the way down. I'm still going until you get to where they want to say, oh, the Gaza Strip, Yemen, but then come back to an African country. Okay. Solomon Islands, Tanzania. Okay. Just take a look. So the Philippines is showing at 2.8. That's one of what you would consider an Asian country. But for so much of it, ones have dropped, right? In other Asian countries. Okay, let's continue to go down. Let's try to get down to America. Okay, even right here is saying that Israel's 2.4. With who help? The people that they're trying to put out? Let's continue. Okay. Now, when you get down here and you start seeing, Hades, and you start seeing, our places, you have to say, well, are they giving them something to prevent them from having babies? Because we see they all over there. Is this an accurate number? Let's continue. Botswana, 2.8. Okay. And you would have to go to, I want to say, let's just go to 3. Okay, so United States is 101 in the ranking, and they have at a 2.06. This is not accurate. There really is a 1.7. So that's not accurate. So this report is saying that it's updated as of 2021. Okay, let me find another account here. Okay. So under microtrends.net, and I just wanted to bring this forth as well because let me get this up. Okay. So it says a 1.78. All right. Okay. So you can see that account there because I believe it said in an article that's what it was. Let me see if I could get another account. And a lot of times what they do, it by 1,000, to compare it with others without, really trying to get down to the actual number because it doesn't look good for them. So they'd rather do it like right here. You see 55.8 birth right here where it says record low U.S. birth rate fell another 4% in 2020. And then it says, of course, they do it per 1,000 women just to kind of offset the number from looking really, really low. Okay, family, so you need to be at 2.1. At one point, it was at 4. As far as every, women should have, we're having 4 kids. Well, in Africa, it was just women have had, just in days, I want to say, had 9 children at one time. And someone in America had 8 children. And so now that person who had the 9 children, they said more likely the way it made it appear that they were going to the World Guinness Book of Records. So, or is it the Guinness World Records or World Guinness? Either which way, you know what I'm talking about. Take care, family. Blessings.